Maya Boyd is our Storm. I waited until midnight or just after midnight to get that name. I was in Black Girl Nerds live chat, D23 live chat, just waiting, wondering if we're gonna get anything about the X-Men, wondering if we're gonna get anything about a Storm. So when she sent that name, Maya Boyd is Storm, I went looking. And so I saw pictures of her and something in my brain tingled. She looked familiar. And so I started reading about her. I seen her on Broadway. I saw her last year, last January, on my birthday on Broadway. She was starring as Juliet Capulet in the musical and Juliet. And I didn't know what I was walking into with that musical. I thoroughly enjoyed myself and I thoroughly enjoyed her. So Maya Boyd is 23 years old. Like I said, she's a Broadway actress, has done musical theater, and currently wrapped up a play. So according to Playbill, 2024 was her debut year on Broadway. She was an understudy in the musical Merrily We Go Along, and she also seemed to play two other characters. Then she got the lead role in Juliet, and recently she wrapped up in July August Wilson's Joel Turner's Come and Gone, which, like I said, is a play, not a musical. So she's done with that. So she is all set, primed, and ready to start shooting the X-Men. Miss Maya originally wanted to be a professional dancer. She is trained in Russian classical ballet. She was with Alvin Ailey when she was like 13 years old. She was also part of the San Francisco Ballet and Complexions. So her plan was to be a professional dancer, and then she got introduced to musical theater. This is great. I have no doubt that her training as a ballerina, as a classically trained dancer is going to come in handy in her portrayal of Storm. We know Storm can scrap with the best of them, but she also has, a sophistication. I mean, we're going to meet a young Storm. Not sure what that means, but she has that regality, that sophistication, or she's either already going to have it or she's going to grow into it. That's going to come in handy. So, according to Variety, Feige said that X-Men the reboot will premiere on May 5th, 2028. That is great. I did not want Storm to debut in Black Panther 3. Some people are saying Ryan did his big one when they're talking about Maya being cast, and I think it's because they're assuming she's gonna debut in Black Panther. Ryan is not directing X-Men. Jake Schreier is. He directed Thunderbolts. So he's going to direct X-Men. The script is being written by Lee Sung-jin, who created Beef on Netflix. He also contributed to the script for Thunderbolts. And the other writer is Joanna Callow. She is the showrunner for The Bear on Hulu/FX. And she wrote the screenplay for Thunderbolts along with somebody else. I'll get back to Thunderbolts. I'm glad that she's going to debut with the X-Men. I wanted us to meet Storm in the environment and in the context that she is best known for. She is an X-Men. She is a leader, strategist, etc., all of that. I am more interested in seeing her dynamic with Jean and Scott and Professor X. Like, I'm more interested in seeing her dynamic with the X-Men be set up than in getting any nudge, wink, the future about her and T'Challa. I would have been so worried if she got introduced in Black Panther because she would have been a supporting character. Black Panther 3 has enough to worry about. They gotta sell us on David. I mean, it's not gonna be hard with me, but like, they gotta set David up. Like, Wakanda Forever helped us grieve Chadwick. Black Panther 3 is gonna be like, this is the here and now, and we're gonna be moving on. And they have to worry about ending that by the time the credits roll, setting up the next story for it. They got enough to worry about without having to also introduce Storm. It also could have been that people like were really excited to have Ryan write for her. But the other reason why I didn't want her there is because Ryan is not going to be over the X-Men. He is firmly in Wakanda, firmly responsible for T'Challa and the Black Panther. That's his baby. And so I wanted Storm to be with whoever is going to be the people or the group of people or the recurring group of people who would be responsible for the X-Men. So I had all of that in mind. Anytime someone would say Black Panther 3, I'd be like, God, please no. I want to see them do right by Storm before we get into anything to do with her and T'Challa. Because we ain't there yet. We don't know. We're on the right track with the casting. This is the best, visually speaking. This is the best. This is the best Storm we have had so far, live action. And so they're already on the right track. But, there's still no proof in the pudding yet. Like, we still need to see Storm be shown the respect she deserves. We still need to see her have the personality that she needs to have. We still need to see her be the badass that we know that she is, fighter, power-wise. And again, her dynamic with Scott and Jean as more than just Jean. How's your love triangle going? Like it kind of was in X-Men. What was that? 2000, the one with Halle Berry. Yeah, they got a lot they need to do before they start worrying about teasing Storm's future relationship. And I also am genuinely, I would have been genuinely worried, and I kind of still am, about Storm playing second fiddle to Black Panther. Number one, because the streets have been saying for years that that's what happened in the comics. Number two, that she was a little dimmed once that relationship was canonized. But also, yes, David is new as T'Challa, but Black Panther is cemented in the MCU, in the heart of the fans, in the pockets of the MCU bigwigs, like in Disney, because Black Panther has made them billions. Storm is brand new. She needs to be established, and she's part of an ensemble. And so, and also, whenever it is that they start teasing or moving towards her and Black Panther, they'll be the first of their kind. There is no other couple in the MCU where the woman is as much of a hero and as important and more important than the man. Tony and Pepper. Tony's the hero. Steve is the hero. You know what I mean? The closest we have is maybe Wanda and Vision, and they subvert that because Wanda's a little bit more important, you know what I mean? But also they happened off screen, and also they didn't get that focus until WandaVision. They will be the first of their kind. Now, we have Scott and Jean. Well, there is no Wolverine, so we're going to be fine. Scott and Jean, maybe. We'll see. But point being, they'd be the first of their kind. Black Panther, TM, is already a darling in the MCU. I just want Storm. Like I said, let's establish her as an individual before we start looking at anything. Also, every now and then, people talk about how, Storm is a baddie. And she be, the men be drooling a little bit. We can stand to have some of that too, before we get into her one true love. When they do meet, I actually have a preference. 3 options, most preferred to least preferred. When they do cross paths, I would prefer for it to be Black Panther, T'Challa, being a guest in an X-Men movie. I want him to meet her on her turf. I want him to meet her while she's running her business. Second option, for them to cross paths in a big group project, Avengers type, everybody come to the table, etc. Third and least favorite, only because she's still so new, who knows how many years it will be, she can somehow cross paths with him in a Black Panther movie. So, we're off to a good start. Good casting for Storm. And X-Men comes out before Black Panther 3. Beautiful. With that said, do you have any worries lingering about either Storm or the X-Men reboot in general? I have a worry. So, Jake Schreier. This trio of Jake Schreier, who else? Lee Sung-jin and Joanna Cayo. The last time those 3 came together, they produced the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is not a good ensemble movie. So now that's what I'm worried about. These 3 did not quite create magic together on their debut project together. I rated Thunderbolts a 3 out of 5. 3 only because of the writing and portrayal of Yelena and Bob. Those 2 held that movie together. The storyline with Bob was fantastic. Based on what it is supposed to be, which is an ensemble movie, that is supposed to have me by the time it's done, I'm invested in this team. No, I walked away like, why was Bucky in this damn movie? It didn't do him any favors. Tell me your favorite ghost scene. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't good. And so, but new opportunities with the X-Men. Of course I hope it'll be great, but the last time these three had to write a group of people, strangers, coming together or on a common thing and building a relationship, it was no Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is like incredible in how James Gunn, I believe, built the strangers, hard personalities, all of them. And by the end, especially on rewatch, it's incredible. The storyline and how he really paid attention and honored each character, invested a little something in each of them. Thunderbolts didn't do that. And so that's what worries me, especially because we have the additional cast that we know so far. And Feige said that that's not all. So let's run through them. Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. If you know, you know. Some people may not know. Some people may still not know. But Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. I simply just was not going to talk about any of these people. I saw the news coming out, but I'm like, until I hear about Storm, I don't really have anything to say. And you see how most of this video is about Storm. But Samara Weaving is going to be Emma Frost. Indy Navarrete is Rogue. Now, she's an obsession, and I heard nothing but great things about that movie. It is on my list. It's now on streaming. It's been on my list. I'm definitely going to be watching it as soon as possible so I can see her in action. Oh, I think I said Navarrete. That's my Haitian side coming out. It's Navarrete. Kit Connor is going to be Cyclops. I learned that he played Romeo on Broadway. So nice connection with Maya. We've got Christopher Abbott as Professor X. And Adam Driver will be Mr. Sinister. And like I said, Feige said, this is not everybody. Now, Lee Seung-jin was on The Watch podcast, and he said this: I think the movies, in a great way, leaned into more of the political backdrop, which is just always baked into X-Men. But I think what's exciting about Jake's vision for this movie is he wants to get back to character first. He wants to really lean into inter-character dynamics and relationships and play around with the soapy stuff that was baked into the comics. Now, if you are a huge fan of the comics, you know the comics like the back of your hands. What does that bring up for you? The soapy stuff. What's that? Illuminate me and the rest of us who did not read the comics. When you hear Jake wants to lean into the soapy stuff from the comics, what comes to mind? Help prepare us. There were other stuff that came out of D23 specifically related to the MCU. 2 trailers, Doomsday and VisionQuest. The way Doom stuck that landing from the spaceship in that special look trailer spoke to me. I'm a big fan of things that look cool. And that looked cool. I feel like I hope he wears the hell out of that cape. I think he's gonna be, of course, easy comparison. The only other, well, not the only other, but big bad genocidal maniac we've had is Thanos. He's gonna be Thanos, but with charisma. He's gonna need that charisma because his face don't move. Thanos had no charisma. He didn't need it because his whole shtick was just being so burdened because he sees what others don't. The universe is so overpopulated, oversaturated, and he's haunted by it. The resources are too few, and so rather than creating more, he's gonna just kill half the population everywhere. Sidebar, having watched Brand New Day twice, I didn't do an out of theater reaction. It just wasn't any, but I loved it. But Miss College Girl who asked Banner, why didn't Thanos just create more resources? How is he supposed to know that? She's asking that question as if this is something she read in a book and they're analyzing this classic. Thanos was a real deal alien from another universe even, who killed half the population of the world. And I think that based on the timeline, this movie is taking place in 2028. I don't remember what year did the snap happen. Anyways, I feel like this was a misuse. Her asking that question was a misuse of taking discussions that are had online and putting them in the universe. They did, I think, a lot of that or some of that in Thor Love and Thunder, and I didn't appreciate that at all. This was a misuse because her question doesn't make any sense. Like, have that discussion with your little friends, but why are you asking the Hulk that? How is he supposed to know? You think he was having tea with Thanos? You think he asked Thanos that? You think Thanos would have voiced that? Anyways, yeah, the special look trailer didn't really give me much except make me excited. I already said I'm looking forward to seeing Doom. I'm excited for the carnage, you know? Streets say you big and bad, show me you big and bad. I did have a moment during the trailer where I was like, I hope Shuri's gonna be okay. She's gonna have to be okay because we need her in Black Panther 3 to punch us in the emotions as she is passing the mantle. She talks about T'Challa, the father. We need her. So she's gonna make it. I don't expect tears from me. You know, like when Spidey got Tony, even though those didn't happen in the same movie. But like, yeah. So that's why I'm just like, I'm most looking forward to the villain because everybody else, yeah, we'll see. So that's that. The trailer, you know, excited for Doom, that. Moving on to VisionQuest. The trailer for VisionQuest came out, you know, in D23. If you don't remember how we got to White Vision, you're safe here because I also did not remember. It's been 5 years. So let's do a quick little recap. I 100% went to MCU Wiki to help me remember. So Thanos killed Vision because he took out the Mind Stone. What I could remember was like, so yes, but then what? How did we get between that and WandaVision? SWORD, which was founded by Maria Rambo, which stands for Sentient Weapon Observation and Response Division, somehow took the body from Wakanda. Now, why would Wakanda let that happen? Why would they? I mean, like, that's a U.S. agency, I guess, to keep the peace with international relations. But like it happened in Wakanda. Anyways, so SWORD took the body. They kept trying to put Vision back online, kept failing. They were on the struggle bus. And then in WandaVision, they bring him close to Westview, like just on the outskirts of Westview, where Wanda is busy living her fantasy life, deep in grief. At some point, residual magic from Wanda's chaos magic, they use that and are able to bring him back online, which is pretty romantic, you know, as a WandaVision fan, that her magic is what was able to power White Vision up. And so then he was programmed to kill Wanda and Hex Vision, Red Vision. And then during the fight, and I remember this, during the fight, they got into a philosophical discussion, just stopped everything to have a philosophical discussion about like what makes a person, basically. Red Vision gives him his memory. So now he has both the memories of Red Vision from when he was living and also Hex Vision from Westview as Wanda made him. And so then White Vision leaves to go navel gaze and find himself, which brings us to VisionQuest. So Paul Bettany says that VisionQuest is basically weird. He says it's out of left field, and the trailer is certainly giving that. It is giving weird. It is giving eclectic. I'm looking forward to that storyline of, you know, what makes, he's not a person, but like what makes a being a being. He has the memories, he has the context, you know, on a cerebral level, but he doesn't have the experience. He didn't go through any of that. He did not fall in love with Wanda. He didn't even go through what Hex Vision went through. And so I'm looking forward to that exploration. I love that he's going to have further context in terms of his lineage. So we have Ultron in it as one of his daddies with Tony and Bruce and Thor being his other daddies. And we have his son, which one? Tommy is going to be in it as well. And so I'm hoping we get more great lines like the one that Hex Vision had about grief, where it was like, you know, what is grief if not love persevering? That was a bomb-ass line, and I hope we get more of that in this exploration of what makes you you, what are memories if you don't remember how you got them, things of that nature. And I think at the end of this, we're going to have another evolution of Vision, right? I don't think it's going to be, because he can't go back and go through all of this stuff. He can't. I think it's going to be a new version. I don't quite know how they're going to settle the discrepancy, but essentially what I'm saying is that, like, if Wanda were to, which, like, I don't live my life as if Wanda is dead. I don't. But if Wanda were to walk into his life, I believe he would have to fall in love with her. By the time VisionQuest wraps, he would have to fall in love with her again. He would have to learn her again, experience her again, and she would have to learn him again. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be another, like, Vision version 3, to keep with the, the whole tech thing.